Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. My son is starting to ask some really hard questions and I have no idea what to say to him. Story related. My son is only a child. I try to avoid these questions because I have no idea how to answer him without saying anything that won't hurt him. My son finished coming out of a heart transplant surgery and he asks me questions like why isn't daddy here, or why his dad doesn't love him like how his sisters are loved by the man who's raising them, which is not their biological father. I know I'm hated, I know I'm going to be called a W, or will gonna say this is my karma. But if anyone can give me advice, I would so appreciate it. I know this probably isn't the answer you're looking for, but I'd really recommend you try asking this question to a different source. Probably none of the people who will come across this post will have a strong understanding of child psychology or some other form of expertise that could specifically help to provide you with a positive answer to give your child. Hoping the best for you both, smile. Probably the best advice of all the comments. Child's psychology isn't to be taken lightly, it's difficult stuff. I'll tell you the same thing my father told me and his father told him. Kids aren't dumb. They see the truth in all things eventually. All you can do is be the best you can and tell them the truth. Don't feel shame, feel accomplished for realizing you have a weakness and are strong enough to face and learn from it. Not all people can. If you tell him the truth it will be hard and you'll be tempted to feel ashamed. Don't. You've made mistakes just like every other breathing human being ever. If you tell him now, in child-appropriate terms, then he will understand in his own way that you love him and trust him enough to know the truth. He'll also be more likely to come to you in the future. Don't hide from your past. Teach by example that any mistake can be overcome with hard work and honesty. Amazing comment. Well said. I will do that. My son is still here for a reason, and I know I can raise him to be a better man than anyone. Thank you for your advice. No, you don't know you can raise him to be a better man than anyone. You listened to your evil father, and destroyed a good man with your cheating ways. The best you can do is teach him to avoid your mistakes. Vectored. First of all, no, you are not going to hurt him by telling the truth. He is asking for a reason and deserves to know. What I have to say might not be what you want, but it's how I see it with this tiny information you gave. Think of the reason. Does he feel treated differently than his siblings? By this man of yours, the siblings and even you? It's easy to say no, but often the question of origin and parents is of acknowledging and attention. Maybe you feel you treat all the same, but it's about his point of view. Especially when dealing with such heavy surgery and mental coping. My parents separated and divorced when I was 5 and my sister 12. Believe me, kids of most ages know already from a very young age that something is not right. Getting peace back in life means a lot. If one parent does no longer fulfill their parenting duties, that's on their plate, not on yours. Tell him in words he understands what happened and stay by what you know. Do not fill in something to either make it easier on him or to make the absent father look worse due to maybe resentment on your side. Keep it simple. Keep to the truth and not your truth. Truth is in a relationship, no one is a saint. My stepfather went full into being a father in the beginning, but for some reason there was always this gap. First, decades later I understood what happened. It was those tiny, daily things that created a gap. For example, good grades I was his kid, bad grades I was my mother's daughter. Parents and step-parents do not mean ill by that really. As adults you see things differently. A kid is much more literal. At last, this became much longer than I wanted. I am so sorry that your son has to go through something like that. Wishing him and you and your family the best wishes and that he will recover fast with no issues. It's better you tell him the truth of how adults really act. You need to gain his trust. If you don't tell him now, In the future he won't ask you for advice and you will wonder why he doesn't ask you for advice or trust you. You're absolutely right. I will talk to him and tell him everything he needs to know. Is it time to ask him for forgiveness? Infidelity. The man I feel like I destroyed is scared of having the girls fly back home, so he drives them from Beverly Hills to NYC. I know he hates me. He wants nothing to do with me, but it's been years since I've seen him. Years since I've hugged him. Should I ask for forgiveness? In case you guys ask why he hates me. I cheated on him with his best friend. I got pregnant by his friend and had twins and couldn't tell my husband until he found out 3 years later when he came back home from his deployment after 7 months that I got pregnant again with the BM son. I regret my action. I've lost the one man that loved me more than anything other than girls. He saved my son from dying. He remained in the girls' lives, and he did so much for us. Can anyone tell me if I should or not? This guilt is killing me every day. He saved my baby boy's life. I don't know how to repay him after what I did to him. Honestly, you repay him by staying out of his life. After all these years, the only thing you will accomplish is creating upheaval in his life. All of the work he's put towards healing from your betrayal will be put at risk simply because the guilt continues to eat at you. If you love this man the way you say you do, please leave him alone. Thank him by not disrupting his life. Once you've betrayed someone the way you have, I don't know that forgiveness is ever possible. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. What you're seeking to do is selfish. It may be dressed up as something positive, but trust me, it's not. It may just destroy him all over again. It's time for you to seek treatment and move on with your own life. You have posted variations of this same sob story on 6 different subs over the past 26 days. No, really. 26 posts, same question. What are you trying to gain? I'm beginning to believe about 0 of it, as each post has different details. This is a long-running troll post, though with the virus I'm lacking in having anything better to do. Your ex-husband gave a surgeon $500,000 cash to pay for a kid that wasn't his, minutes before the kid was rolled into surgery. Because insurance wouldn't pay for open heart surgery on your son who would die without said surgery. The money came split seconds, anonymously, just before the surgeon refused to perform emergency surgery because he wasn't going to get paid. Then you found out it was your ex-husband who paid. The same man you cheated on and lied to that all 5 kids you have were his, but 3 were from your boyfriend. Your ex-husband paid $500,000 for his cheating wife's kid, 4 years after his divorce from you. This ex-husband of yours, his former best friend who impregnated you 3 times while you were married to him, bought your boyfriend a house and brand new car. Your ex-husband bought him this new house and car because both of your boyfriend's parents were killed in a car accident. And your ex-husband is now rich and owns 3 businesses. You all took lie detector tests. Is this the same husband that was away in combat for 3 years straight? The one that never came home for the birth of twins you told him were his? The military doesn't work like that. He would never be away for 3 years straight. Then in another post you say that your husband was with you every minute of the pregnancies because he thought all of them were his. And then in another post, how your husband caught you and his best friend cheating, is because your husband walked in on you and his best friend in bed, exactly as he was coming home from a 3-year deployment, after you had given birth to twins, he thought were his. And your boyfriend got 4 other married women pregnant, and now has 10 kids. And he works at Best Buy. Seriously? This is some really Jerry Springer shit. I think you're a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. What is the answer you're looking for? Is it just attention? If you had 5 kids, you would be a bit busier than posting this bullshit. To be honest, I too have too much time on my hands obviously to be reading all your crazy. If any of this is real, he'll probably tell you to go duck yourself. But I don't see how you could do worse. Bro, this tea. Is there more? Holy crap, I didn't know all of this. Based on the ops reply to my last comment, I am now fully of the belief that it's a troll. Whatever she is, she's not remorseful, and with every reply comes off as a more garbage human being. Same as you, due to social distancing, I seem to have more time to be reading this bullshit. ETA, wait, he was deployed for years and years but now owns 3 businesses and he's a millionaire? But Op told me in another comment that he's a pilot. If I have a question, I'll keep posting. And right now, I'm only taking care of 1 child of mine. When I have to take care of all 3, then I'll be too busy with my phone. But hold on. Who said he was away for 3 years straight? He's not in the military anymore. That was a while ago. I haven't seen him personally in 3 years. He lives far from me, and I'm not allowed to know where he lives. He doesn't tell me. But why would he be right? This is judgment-free, so if anything I comment on here sounds harsh or whatever, then it's not meant to, rather it's meant to be blunt. You betrayed him, he obviously took it very poorly, I don't blame him, and now after several years have passed you are hoping for reconciliation of some kind, but it's not for him, it's not for your girls, it's not for your son, it's for you and only for you. Guilt is a very selfish emotion. He doesn't need repaying, he did what any decent person would have done, and honestly that's all it needs to be. Don't beg. If he hates you like you claim he does, then all it will do is piss him off and bring up long since laid to rest memories of your infidelity. Obviously at the time you didn't feel guilty, at the time you weren't concerned with breaking his trust, so why are you guilty now? Why are you now concerned with breaking his trust? It's not worth it, you need to move on. Believe me, I know. I know I can't take it back. I wish I could. The shit I made him go through is inexcusable. I just want to thank him. Is that too hard? A real thank you. Not just text him thank you. He saved my son's life. Something I know his father could have done. Make sure to just leave it at a thank you, make it heartfelt and honest. Of course. The only thing I slightly disagree with here is that he's driving all the way from Beverly Hills to New York City, which is not something just any decent man would do. That's like 3,000 miles. I cannot think of very many people who would do that actually. Considering that Op destroyed him, he could have just said he was going to keep the girls and not drive them all the way back home for a few weeks. He would have probably been within his rights given the circumstances. So I think Op has to acknowledge that in some way. I kind of get the feeling that she won't acknowledge any of that though. Because of the virus, he refuses to let the girls go anywhere near an airport. He thinks it's safer to take them himself in a couple of days. Even still, that is a crazy long car trip, when, because of the virus, he would be totally justified in just saying that he would keep the girls with him for the duration or for as long as it takes to come up with a solution. It's hugely above and beyond for him to get in the car and drive that distance. Even though he's a pilot, he is more of a driving guy. He's driven this length plenty of times. He sets up his RV and goes on. He takes the girls and all their friends on trips all the time. Okay, well, no offense, but you're asking about offering forgiveness and feeling regretful, yet he's doing this tremendously generous task of driving over 3,000 miles and you're playing it off like it's not such a big deal. Kind of makes it sound like maybe you don't really appreciate him at all anyway. I don't know a single person in my entire life who would make that drive during a global pandemic, no matter how much they like to drive. Wait, how the hell does he drive across the country, which he's done plenty of times? Makes me look like I don't appreciate him. Are you trying to pull something out of your ass or something? Excuse me, but you said to yourself that you destroyed him. He doesn't have to do jack shit for you, but he is driving across the country to bring your girls back to you. You know what, do whatever you want, I really don't care. You are starting to sound less and less like you have any regrets. Someone tells you that you should appreciate this gesture and you fly off the handle. That doesn't sound like someone who's regretful and desperate for forgiveness. Would the best friend that you ducked while you were still married drive 3,000 miles for you or anyone else in the middle of a global pandemic? You're getting defensive therefore are starting to sound like exactly what you say you are, someone who would cheat on her husband with his best friend and get knocked up and destroy his life. Good luck to you. Well, you telling me I don't care or appreciate this man sounds like you know what I was going through. It's not about me. It's about the fact that after everything I did to him, all the pain I caused him, he still saved my son. The only man in the world that took the time to do it was him. I owe this man my life, but he won't even care to look at me, let alone let me thank him personally. I know I don't deserve it, but hopefully one day. Lamau, it's all about you, isn't it? Look how many times you use the words I and me in your response. I, me. Who the duck cares what you want? You ducked his best friend and destroy his life. You don't get to want or need anything anymore. Bottom line is he is a good man and you screwed him over and don't deserve him. And you don't get to demand that he let you apologize. You made your choices and now you get to live with them. You give women a bad name. Please stay away from him and get on with your life. Yeah. Forgiveness is up to him. You have no right to ask for it. All you can do is apologize for what you did and leave it there. The apology is for you. Forgiveness is for him to do to help himself. No matter what happens, there are consequences for your actions that will never be over. Should I ask for forgiveness? No. You asking him for forgiveness is only you trying to help you with your guilt. I don't know how to repay him after what I did to him. Repay him by staying out of his life as well as possible. I understand why you would see it like that. But he saved my baby and I just want to thank him. You want to thank him for your own self. Don't pretend to act humble, you act selfish. I'm not trying to be selfish. And yet, here we are. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.